Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's begin this video with a humorous tale of sibling rivalry and a clever tech prank. When a sister's computer audio mysteriously broke, she turned to her brother for help, but her entitled attitude led to a playful, petty twist that sent her on a wild goose chase for a non-existent software fix. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. The day my sister learned to check the wires. A few years ago, my sister called me and asked me to help her with her computer because she couldn't hear anything. Around that time, around 2010, computers bought in stores didn't have USB ports for everything. Instead, they had separate speakers and mics with color-coded cords. They would get mixed up if you were in a hurry and didn't pay attention, so I tell her to check the wires because she most likely put them in wrong. She flatly says no, saying that her computer is broken and that I need to fix it. Some information on my sister. She's always been the princess in our family of 4 boys and 1 girl. She's always been used to getting what she wants. Her blonde hair, blue eyes, and enhanced saline assets made her look like a normal valley girl of the time. I started to lose my tech support zen because of how entitled she sounded and how she flat out refused to think she did anything wrong. This is where the pettiness starts. Me. Oh no, you've made a PEBKAC error. PEBKAC equals problem exists between chair and keyboard. Sis. PEBKAC error? How do I make that right? Me. Go to Staples. They should have PEBKAC software that can help you clear it up. It shouldn't cost more than $20. PEBKAC is the correct spelling. Sister. PEBKAC. Okay, thanks. Click. For some background, she was dating a pretty big and buff police officer at the time. I'm about 6'1" and felt like Gumby next to him. The next thing was the call the next day. When I saw her name on the caller ID, my eyes got really big. Me. How are you? Sister. You're such a jerk. She then talks in more depth about her trip to Staples with her boyfriend. For some reason, she couldn't find the program on the shelf, went to the tech help desk. The first tech didn't know what it was and couldn't find anything on the Staples website. They called over the second tech, who also didn't know what it was. Together, they searched the internet and read out loud, PEBKAC. Problem exists between chair and keyboard. Cue red face and lots of embarrassment. Sister. So are you going to help me with my computer now, you jerk? That night, I went to her house and made her watch as I took her computer off the desk and switched the cords so they were the same color. Bring on a less red face. Your sister's insistence that she couldn't possibly be wrong, paired with your perfect petty setup, makes this story golden. Fixing the problem in 2 seconds by simply switching the cords while she watched? Good job. It's a solid reminder that sometimes a little pettiness is exactly what's needed to get the point across. Siblings, the original tech support and life lesson providers. And our second story. Karen and her boyfriend learn not to mess with my mom. In the mostly white town where I live in the suburbs of New Jersey, my family's one of the few Asian families. There's a persistent racism in the town, even though most of the people there are good. Anthony's one of our friends. He used to be a police captain in another town. He's nice and respected, and he knows the police chief of the town well. My mom is the first person in her family to come to the United States. She speaks English well, but some people ignore her because she has a strong Asian accent. A few years ago, the story began when my mom went to see a friend on the other side of town. The house of her friend was at the bottom of a small hill, and she parked her car next to it. The next few things that happened turned a normal day into a fight in a small town. An SUV driven by a woman we'll call Karen sped down the hill as my mom was leaving. Karen went into the wrong lane, cut in front of my mom, and hit my mom's car with the back wheel of her Jeep, taking off the front bumper. The road was wide. My mom stopped right away, shocked. Karen yelled as she stomped out of her Jeep. She yelled, "What the F were you thinking? Are you sure you don't know how to drive?" Even though Karen was angry, my mom said, "I'm sorry, I believe you hit my car." Karen wasn't having any of it. "You pulled out without looking. It's your fault. Call the police right now." My mom told me, "My phone is dead." Karen huffed and yelled for someone to get the police. The noise made my mom's friend, her son, and their neighbor come outside to see what was going on. The neighbor, an old man, tried to stop it. "What did this happen?" he asked. "Are you effing blind?" Karen snapped. "An awful accident. Make a 911 call." "I'm calling my boyfriend," she said as she pulled out her phone. My mom tried to describe what had happened to Kenny, the police officer, when he got there. "I was leaving and he put out his hand. Hold on." He went right over to Karen's boyfriend, Sam, who just walked in. It turned out that Sam was a police officer from our town who was not on duty. He was a bit of a star in the area because he went to middle school assemblies. Kenny and Sam talked for a while Karen smiled proudly. After that, Kenny said, "Okay, I have what I need. The report will be sent to you in 1 or 2 weeks." My mom began, but I didn't finish explaining. He stopped with her. "We're good here." He left without taking proper statements and didn't pay any attention to the 2 people in Karen's car. When my mom got the police report, it said that she had hit Karen's car when she pulled out without light. On top of that, Karen wanted my mom's insurance to pay for the damage to her Jeep. My mom went to our retired police captain friend Anthony when she was upset and didn't know what to do. After hearing her story, Anthony told her, "This is BS. Go to the station and ask to talk to the chief. Tell them you're there to make an internal complaint if they won't let you." The son of a friend of hers had taken a law class and knew how to take pictures of everything. My mom marched into the police station with the pictures. She told the cop at the desk, "I need to talk to the chief." He laughed and said, "You can't just walk in and see the chief." My mom told me, "Fine, where do I go to make a complaint inside the company?" The officer's mood changed right away. Taking her into a back room, he said, "Right this way." With recorder in hand, the deputy chief stepped in and listened as my mom gave her proof. It was very clear from the pictures that Karen had crossed the double line and blocked my mom. My mom also said that Kenny hadn't talked to her or Karen at the scene and hadn't written down who was with Karen in the report. My mom said it straight out. Maybe he didn't take me seriously because of my accent. The assistant chief told her they would look into it. At the same time, my mom showed the proof to her insurance company. They agreed that Karen was at blame and wouldn't pay a dime for her injuries. Instead, they got Karen's insurance company to pay for the fixes for my mom. A month later, the police came to our door to tell my mom that Kenny had been punished, but Sam hadn't been because there wasn't enough proof. My mom was happy and thought the struggle was over. After that, we got a letter. On the day before the statute of limitations ran out, Karen filed 3 charges against my mom. It looks like people in New Jersey can make complaints about other people breaking the law. Karen used this confusing rule to say that my mom was driving recklessly. We thought my mom wouldn't know how to fight back, so we thought Sam had taught her, but Karen didn't realize how determined my mom was or how many people she knew. The next day, my mom hired a lawyer. They asked for the case to be moved to a bigger court in a nearby town because they thought our small town court would favor Karen and Sam. The move changed things. My mom could change her plans, but Karen, who worked full-time in town, had to deal with a big problem. My mom's lawyer was ready with a pile of proof when the court date came around. Karen, on the other hand, didn't bother to come. My mom was found not guilty, and the case was thrown out. In our small town, word got around quickly. People quickly stopped talking to Karen and Sam, who used to be well-liked. Sam stopped being asked to school assemblies, and Karen was pretty much kicked out of the PTA. Later, Anthony told us that Sam had been seriously reprimanded by the police chief, even though the record didn't show it. My mom fixed her car, got her tickets thrown out, and kept her good name in the end. What about Karen and Sam? They found out the hard way that messing with my mom was not a good idea. Karen's entitlement and Sam's abuse of his position were both infuriating and predictable. From their smug attitudes to the bogus charges, they thought they had it all locked down. But your mom? She turned what could have been an overwhelming situation into a masterclass in standing up for yourself. Bringing in Anthony and escalating things to the deputy chief showed she wasn't going to let anyone dismiss her or treat her unfairly because of her accent. Moving the case to a bigger town was a stroke of genius. It forced Karen to face actual accountability, which she couldn't handle. The fallout, Sam losing his golden boy reputation and Karen getting socially iced, was the karma they both deserved. And our last story. People had a pool party in my backyard. My fiance and I own a house with a pool in the backyard. His brother Jay had asked the day before if him and his family, wife and 3 kids, could come over on Sunday to swim after one of the kids' sports games, which was at a park close by to us. Now, fiance and I own a business together that requires WFH, work from home, on Sundays. Everyone that we know is aware of this, including his brother. I voiced my opinion that I felt it was weird for people to be at our house while we were working in the basement, but fiance assured that it would just be chill. He said it's normal for family to use people's pools even if they weren't home. So we let them come, thinking that they would swim for maybe an hour, then leave. But it wasn't just them. Fiance's parents also came. We figured they would. But the kicker is that Jay also invited 2 of his friends plus their partners and their kids as well. We do know these people, but both fiance and I were not aware of this beforehand. So now it's a full-on party in our backyard while we're working in the basement. I became very annoyed that they did not only invite themselves, but some of their friends as well. It made me feel guilty that I couldn't be in my own backyard to host people because I was working. It also felt like they were just using the house and didn't really care about seeing us, the homeowners. Not to mention the house was a complete mess. We had a busy Friday and Saturday, and I didn't bother cleaning much before because I figured it would just be Jay's family. Everyone was here from 1 p.m. till 7 p.m. We finished work around 3 p.m., at which time fiancé put on his swim trunks to join them outside. I got in a pretty bitter mood from it all and stayed inside. I didn't say hello to anyone because I figured they weren't here to see me, just my pool. I did some laundry and some cleaning up, and I did end up seeing a few people who were coming inside to use the washrooms. I said hi and tried to make some small talk, but I really wasn't happy. Fiance came in and said that I was creating an awkward/unwelcoming atmosphere by not being outside. I told him I never planned to have a party today, so I was just carrying on doing what I originally had planned, which was laundry and cleaning. Fiance keeps saying that I was rude for not joining them outside after work. He also says things like, the pool is meant to be used and that it's family time. Edit. Answering those who have asked, we bought this house together completely, 50-50. My freaking goodness, what a satisfying way to handle entitlement. OP did everything right, digging into the deeds, confronting the issue calmly. It's a beautiful example of patience turning into action when pushed too far. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.